Good morning, traders. Today is Tuesday, August 16th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, so what do we got going on here in the markets today? Well, yesterday was a continuation of the trend higher on the daily. We have been making higher highs and higher lows and bringing value higher for the last four sessions now. So that is the sign of a trend to the upside and momentum to the upside. And yesterday was a continuation of that trend. What the market did, it pushed higher, creating a double distribution, and then it just rotated up at higher prices for the rest of the day, therefore creating acceptance of these higher prices. That acceptance was, of course, confirmed in the overnight by the fact that the overnight did not trade back down below the base of those single prints up. The overnight stayed in the upper distribution, okay, which is a confirmation of the acceptance of these higher prices, meaning the market may not need a pullback to repair the weakness below, at least not yet. We are opening inside the previous day's range. So that information right there, the fact that the overnight just kind of rotated in the upper end of yesterday's range, that makes me bullish. Neutral to bullish moving forward. So what I'll be looking for this morning is what happens with the chop. We're opening right in the middle of the previous day's range, right in the middle of the previous day's value area. So we are expecting chop this morning. We're expecting the market to just grind up and down for the first hour or so today. And there's a lot of places for support beneath. You got the base of those single prints, the base of that distribution, which worked as support in the overnight around 84. You got the high from Friday. That could act as support. You got the high from the overnight over the weekend at 78. That could act as support. You got these nodes of volume just below there. That could act as support. And then you got these nodes of volume right in here that could act as support. So you got all these areas basically between where price currently is and say 42.64, where the market could find support and just kind of chop up and down in here. So I wouldn't really get bearish at all unless we started to break down below, I would say 66. If we start to break down below there, this last little node, then we may be looking for the market to head lower. But anywhere above that, it's probably just looking for support to chop, support to just grind up and down this morning. And resistance above will obviously be this giant node of time and volume right here at about 93 to 95 area. We'll be looking for resistance there. So let the chop begin, and whichever way the chop starts to break, that will give us insights for where the market is going to go today. If they're able to get through this resistance at, say, 95, the target becomes the overnight high. If they can get above the overnight high and find support, the target becomes yesterday's high and then monitoring for continuation higher. That would be the bullish scenario. The neutral scenario would be just rotating around in here all day. And then the bearish scenario, like I said, would be heading down and breaking this potential support around 66. Okay? So let's see what the market has for us. 2 minutes till the market opens. So that's my opinion. I think the highest probability is up or sideways. What about you? Where do you think the market is going to go today? Do you think this momentum is coming to an end and we need a pullback? Do you think we just need to spend a little more time in here like the overnight did? Or do you think we still have momentum and this market wants to push higher? Let me know in the survey. All right, market is open. We are ready for the chop. All these weak references from yesterday are repaired because we opened below them. But the base of the single prints is still support. It hasn't been tested by the regular trading hours yet. Last chance. Where do you think the market's going to close today? 160 people hanging out. Only 60 people have voted. Come on, let's get our groupthink going. What's going to happen to the market today? Up, down, or sideways? Get your guesses in. All right, so there's the first test of the potential resistance up there around the overnight POC. All right, results are in. Man, just like yesterday, it's like just split right down the middle, three ways. Up 35%, sideways 33%, down 30%. More uncertainty in the chat. Hence the chop. Okay, so we now have good taper on that high. Looking to head back down and test the base of those single prints at 84 for support. All right, well, pushing through the resistance is bullish. Now that we've got the ticks back to the zero line, we'll find out if there are new buyers looking to continue this momentum higher. If we can keep the ticks above the zero line, the target becomes testing the overnight high at 4,300. Smackdown. So now the question, does previous resistance become support? This area around 94 that was just acting as resistance a moment ago. Does it become support? If so, we're looking to test that overnight high. If not, if we pull back through it again, chop zone. Still chop. All right, that's a confirmation of the resistance. We are in a chop zone. Chopping it up. Good morning, Jeremy, John, chilling with Dylan, Brian, Caffeine, Philip, RK, Sean, Javier, Scoob, Brian, Espacio, Nick G, David Glass, T. Wark, Knapp, Ederson, Jack, Chirp, Mark. Welcome, welcome. Novice Trader. It appears the indecision in the survey is proving itself in the market. We seem to be glued to that overnight POC. John George, the other John. YLK, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for saying so. Kiss, which software do you use for trading? I use TradingView with AMP Futures as a broker. YK. So the market profile chart that we see right now is TradingView. No, this I'm not trading on this chart. I'm just watching this chart. This is Window Trader. I'm actually entering and exiting trades on a separate computer than what you guys see, and all I have up on that computer is just a chart in TradingView on the 15-minute candles. And it's just for entering and exiting. That's it. All the information I need to decide is right here. Speaking of which, I know I've already said it twice, but breaking the support increases the odds. We're going to head down and test that basis single prints from yesterday at 42.8450. Tricky thing about a chop zone, though, you can't time it. They can chop around however the heck they want. JTrader 92 trying to hold? Yes, sir. But is it trying to hold a support or resistance? You tell me. Kiss, I didn't know TradingView had market profile. They don't. I just trade on a regular candlestick chart. Look, I'll log in on my paper account just so you guys can see. Oh, oops, not TradeStation. Okay, so this is the chart I trade on. I have it in 15-minute increments. So I would literally just like, if I wanted to buy support here, put my order, trade, buy one, move my stop. Where do I want my stop? Move my take profit. Where do I want my take profit? Boom, I'm in my trade. This is how I trade. And then if the market starts to move in my direction, I move my stop above my entry, and so on and so forth. TradingView. Miz, does volume profile in TradingView match well with Sierra charts? I don't know. I've never used Sierra. I don't particularly like the look of volume profile on TradingView. It's kind of ugly, but it works the same as any other. It's showing you how much volume you got at each level. It's just not very visually stimulating. Well, the fact that that support around the halfback at 92 broke and we didn't come straight down and test those single prints at 84 is a little bit bullish. Chilling with Dylan says more volume at the bottom half of A period seems like support building. The only argument I would make against that is the ticks, that they keep getting smacked down right at the zero line. So they're going to have to be able to stay above there for a little bit for it to truly become support, you know? Otherwise, it's just the shorts loading up. Raphael, do I have any advice for trading the choppy area? Scalp trade, right? Meaning that you lock in your risk and your reward the second you enter the trade, and you just let it play out very quickly, one way or another. You're in or you're out. I mean, you're in or you're out one way or another, and that's it. And don't wait around. Because if you're trying to play like a longer term play, if you're trying to either get long or short right now to hold that position for the rest of the day, it'll just be too difficult emotionally while it chops up and down. The thing about chop is that it's like impossible to read. You know what I mean? Like you just can't tell where it's going to reverse and go the other way. So if you're thinking, oh, it's bullish, I want to accumulate a position to hold, all day for the market to continue higher, you're going to be so frustrated over the last 30 minutes, right? You're going to be going nuts. So if you're going to mess with it, it should be very, very short trades where you're just looking to get in, get out, get it over with, and move on. If you're waiting for a longer term trade, you want to wait for confirmation. You want to see the market get above the overnight high and then buy the support, or vice versa on the lows. And in the rest of the time, you just be okay with watching the market while it chops. Figure out where you think your resistance is going to be, figure out where you think your support is going to be, and then just watch what happens when it gets there. And let it give you insights so you're prepared when you do get the bigger move. All right, so as we're pushing up into this resistance once again, that was resistance in the overnight and resistance this morning, we're asking ourselves, what's up with the ticks? Can they get above and stay above that zero line, or do they get smacked down once again, just like they did before? Smackdown means more chop. If they're able to stay above that zero line, it means they're trying to test that overnight high. Right now, it looks like more resistance. Patrick, is your cumulative volume profile topped at 45, 10, 50? What a strange question. I don't know. I assume if that's where the top of the volume was, is that the all-time high? Mine's going up to like 46 right now. Now, if the market were to trade up there, I would just add more days, so that I get that extra data. But don't need it right now. Why slow down the old computer if I don't need it? Okay, so tick smack down once again means the chop will continue. Patrick, last 90 days? No, I have a lot more than that right now. $190 days right now. We haven't been at this price level in months. I have to go way back. Sean, do you look at the POC or the TPO count above and below the POC to gauge sellers or buyers are stronger? No. That's not something I look at. All right, testing those single prints. Can they hold a support? Good for a fast trade. NQ, confirmation of resistance at the overnight low. Oh, that's bearish. Bearish. All right, so let's check out the NQ. NQ still inside yesterday's range. But, resistance at the overnight low is a bearish signal, right? Pushing below, finding resistance. Value being overlapping to lower from yesterday is a little bit bearish. So, you got support here around 13,562. So look for chop still in this area. But if that support breaks, then target the repair of the weak references left behind yesterday, the week D period low and the week low of the day, and monitor for continuation lower from there. It is still in a chop zone, though, so there's very real chance it finds support here. JTrader, yesterday's A period acting as a result. Well, it's not the A period. It's the fact that that's where we broke out of the A period, right? That was the beginning of the momentum to the upside. essentially the base of those single prints, the base of that second distribution was where something changed in the market yesterday. It went from being neutral, just kind of chopping around in the morning, to bullish, trending higher right at that moment. So that's why we're looking for support there. It's holding for now, but they don't have good taper, so they probably need another test of that low. Oh, it is also weak. Good call, Scooball. Weak because of the overnight low. Scooball isn't weak because of the single prints too. Yeah, I guess you're right. That too. Doubly weak. All right, so we're looking for resistance here and the market to pull back down and give another poke at that low. Try to repair that weakness and get some better taper down there. Chris, good morning to you. Welcome. All right, guys, same as before. As we push into the resistance, do the ticks get smacked down again? If so, the chop continues. Ahoy, Lamus. Welcome. We got 200 people hanging out. What's up, everyone? Welcome. If you wouldn't mind pushing that thumbs up button, I sure would appreciate it. Those likes really help out the channel. And who knows, it might actually bring some support into the market to break this freaking chop zone. No guarantees, though. Simon, are you trading or just analyzing? Well, if you're asking if in life in general, I'm trading. But right now, I'm just analyzing. I don't mess with chop zones like this. I've just learned in the past that the anger and frustration it causes in me when it whips around, it messes me up for the rest of the day. It throws me off my game. So when I see the market is opening in the previous day's range and it's just going to chop around, I like to just kick back, relax, let them do that. Let the short-term traders wear each other out, burn through their capital, waste their time, and then later in the day, once the market picks a direction, then I start looking for trades. It's just a way to manage my own psychology. Some people love chop. It's their favorite. There's somebody right now who's been crushing it all day today with scalp trades. Not me. Barbecue. You ain't kidding me. Just stopped. Now it's going. Yep. That's the chop zone. %70 of the time, it gets you every time. Ooh, one tick. That's not even right. $10 to 12 point rotations all morning. Yes, sir. Since we closed yesterday, nonstop the whole time. Indecision, I say. Indecision. Simon, but I do not see your position. Yeah, I don't show my trades to you guys. I keep them secret. I hide them away on a separate computer so you don't know. No, that's another psychological thing. I used to show my trades, and then I found that I just couldn't trade as well when I was showing my trades because it had an extra psychological effect, the embarrassment of being wrong. Like, it doesn't emotionally affect me when I'm wrong in a trade. Like, I will have already accepted the risk before I entered. I know where my stop is. I know how much it's going to cost me, and I'm fine with it. But when I show my trades to you guys and you follow me and then you lose money, well, then I feel shitty. And then that makes it harder for me to trade. So I got to keep my entries a secret. But I can tell you my bias. I can tell you if I think it's going to go up or down. Rachel, how does chop differ from neutral? It does not. It's the exact same thing. People have asked me to differentiate them in the past. So I invented the term chop zone. Just as another way to explain the same thing as neutral. I don't know what's going on. Got to wait for more information. Choppin' Fan. Did you just change your name, Choppin' Fan? Okay, so as far as the internals are concerned, what are they telling us? Well, the ticks keep getting slapped down. That tells us the chop is still in effect. But it is worth noting that the other two, the breadth and the advancers versus decliners, are starting to show signs of momentum to the upside. They've both worked their way above the zero line and are starting to trend. So if we can get these ticks above the zero line and hold them, we'll be ready to break higher. Until we can do that, more chop. It's a waiting game, they say. Nap, but they're lagging. Yeah, that's true. But that's my point is just that with a total lack of information, right? When we're just literally grinding up and down in a range, going nowhere, doing nothing, all I can do is hunt for information. So the fact that we created that weak reference below and we have not retested it, that's like a when what should happens. That's a little tiny bit bullish. And then those internals, even though they are the lagging indicators, they are indicating momentum to the upside. So that tells me, well, what else do I need to see? That's not enough to get me bullish. What else do I need to see? Well, that's the ticks. The ticks got to get above and stay above the zero line. And that is not a leading indicator. That's a real-time indicator. So whenever they start to do that, we know at that moment we're looking to break with price. But as long as they keep doing this, it's chop. Lona, both. It just depends on the scenario. Sometimes I have limit orders waiting. Sometimes I wait to see what happens at a level, and then I just get in at market based on what I see. If you're at a phase in your trading career where you're still asking, should a person be entering at market or entering with limit orders, I would encourage you to make your focus risk management. You are at a phase of your career where the number one thing, the only thing you should care about is risk management. Learning the discipline of always choosing a position size that limits the risk of your trade to 2% of your account size. So, for example, if you wanted to get long right now and you wanted to put your stop right here, you would just measure what's the distance between the two, which is like 4 points. And then you would say to yourself, okay, with 4 points of risk, what position size can I go long with? That's your main focus. Not am I getting in limit or market or anything like that. The main focus is how much risk am I taking? In order to do this when you're first starting out, you will almost always have to use limit orders because you'll have to do the math ahead of time. And once you get really good at just kind of knowing, then you can do it with market orders in real time. But if you're still learning risk management, you should always be entering limit order because you have to measure your risk ahead of time. Andrew, a day to stay away. Not a day to stay away, my friend. Just the first hour or two, just while we're chopping. But the nice thing about chop is it's building tension, right? It's like a spring that's getting wound tighter and tighter and tighter. So whenever it does break, there will be opportunity. You must just wait. Chris, thank you for the reminder on the book club. Starting a traders book club. If anyone's interested in joining, there's a link in the description. Head on over to the website, scroll on down to the bottom and just pop your email address in there. And then you'll get the invite to the Zoom call at the end of the month. We're going to do a Zoom call on the last Wednesday of every month. Round table style, to just sit and talk books and trading and life in general. Make some new internet friends. That's what I say. David Cooper, could this chop be market makers solidifying a larger node of support or resistance? This particular chop zone is in a larger, older node, I've noticed. Yeah, it was a previous balance area high. Yeah, that could be the case. There's just no way to know. So this is what I'm talking about. That previous balance area high, we're right in that area. But I would say we've kind of broken above it. I guess not. All right, so as we head back down to the low, what are we looking at here? Well, we got potential support around 42.81 and then down at 42.75 in this area. But we are now one time framing lower. So you will need to see the end of the trend, or at least I would, to get long in this market. But if I was short, I would just keep in mind we may find support right here or in here. So you may not get much for it if you're getting short for the trend. But I wouldn't be trying to buy this support until the end of the trend, until one TPO gets above the previous as high. The ES is pretty neutral in where it currently is. You know, it's still inside the previous day's range. It's got value still inside the previous day's value. But the NQ is sending some signals that it is bearish here, with value being overlapping to lower and with the resistance that we got at that overnight low. So obviously now it looks like we're heading down to repair the weak lows we left behind. If the market pushes below yesterday's low, this is the NQ, comes back up and finds resistance in here, that is a short for continuation to the downside. And that market is also one time framing lower. So the ES, I would say, is not that bearish yet, but the NQ is starting to look like it. Starting to look like it wants to pull back here. Next major support for the Q is 13,490. So again, you're looking to get below yesterday's low, find resistance there, then continuation. And the ES is testing that support. We got a good low, good excess, good taper. Can the buyers step in? Find out shortly. With that, I bid you all farewell. I wish you the best of luck on this Tuesday. I hope you make lots and lots of monies. And if you are a member of the brigade, let's ride. Bow, 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 bow.